we do a very bad job in entrepreneurial education in teaching teams and teamworks and the value of having a founding team. There's kind of a bell curve distribution of the number of startups with one founder versus having 10 founders. And the sweet spot is somewhere between 3 and 5. I mean, you can't have, but what we really don't teach is what happens when the pressure's on. When not only the skills that you need in complementary skills, hacker, hustler, designer, architect, something else, but also how do you do when like people are quitting or the customers aren't or the product is crashing or is too buggy to use, and not only people's skill sets, but how do you deal with crisis and conflict? And we really don't teach that, and there's really no good way to simulate that until the last year or two, when there's been these things like startup weekends and lean startup machines where you can actually simulate doing a startup for a couple of weeks or months, rather than putting in the 4 years and raising hundreds of thousands of dollars before you find out you can't stand your co-founder, or worse, they collapse under pressure, or they weren't as good as you thought. And so going through a simulation exercise like that is incredibly valuable if you can find the time and the team, because you ought to recognize it's kind of like dating. Most of them don't end up with 20-year marriages. I was lucky enough to do 3 of my 8 startups with essentially the same team, because we kind of knew each other's moves over a period of time, and you got comfortable working with the same people and realized they had different skill sets and did quite well in early stage ventures.